Okay, so here's a social media post that I wrote as a kind of a way of articulating my thoughts and dealing with the anxiety I was feeling at the time. All right, so tell me what you think of this. I haven't posted on social media in a while. I feel like I've blown a fuse or something. I usually try to write funny things, but I just haven't been feeling like it. The future feels more uncertain now than ever to me. So many people divided on many important and complicated issues while approaching an event horizon. Technology throwing too many variables into reality for us to accurately calculate what will come. Remember those goofy four-legged Boston Dynamics robots? They got those things operating blades and firearms, performing stealth infiltration, and doing parkour like Spider-Man now. Somehow hilarious, but also very, very not funny. I'm one of those guys who's worried about artificial intelligence and the fact that major breakthroughs are happening as we speak, and more are imminent. Data collection is out of control. We're on the verge of adopting a cashless, anonymously transferable currency which opens up an entirely new world of regulation and cybersecurity issues. We now have our first photograph of a black hole. Mass interplanetary travel doesn't seem far off. Along with all this, I see that we as people are collectively in a crisis of faith and at odds in seeking the correct way to conduct ourselves in life. We have so much potential right now, and I feel we could grow in a fantastic direction or, equally likely, topple into catastrophe. I don't think the end of the world is coming tomorrow, but I also don't consider the possibility of a very scary civilizational collapse to be a reality limited to history and black and white footage. We need to be careful, and I believe everybody's best option for proceeding carefully is being willing to speak and listen to everybody else. I've been thinking about all this a lot and many other things and struggling with my mood. A lot of people don't consider me a miserable person, but I deal with depression pretty regularly. Some days it's like dying a slow death by a million mice nibbling at your soul, one small bite at a time. I tend not to share my experiences. I handle it well enough on my own most days. I've learned a few tricks. This is where I start talking about something a little... I start talking here about an email somebody sent me. It was a serious email that someone wrote to me, and the person was on the verge of suicide. I don't mention the person's name. If that person is here right now, I'm not going to reveal who you are. But it's something I do want to talk about because it is something that made me feel a weird mix of emotions. And I don't mean to make light of the way you were, that the person who wrote the email was feeling at the time either. But here we go. I've made videos on YouTube for a long time and have an audience from which I get numerous emails sent to me. At the end of a particularly bad day, I got an email from somebody on the verge of suicide. He strongly implied that I was his last point of contact before his inevitable death. I was ambivalent immediately, between empathy and anger towards him. Anger because I felt it was unfair of him to put that on me. But I saw that he was desperate, and people don't behave ideally when they're desperate. He felt neglected by his family and friends and doomed to being a failure in employment and romance, and was seeking helpful advice from 4chan, which might be one of the dumbest things one could possibly do. Again, I'm not making fun of the guy, but come on, man. You can't go to 4chan for something like that. Anyway, I emailed him back and told him first off to seek help from a qualified professional, if not his family. I questioned his claim of his family truly being indifferent to him were he to reach out to them for help, which happens but is pretty extreme. I told him he should do what I tried to do, what I think every individual should try to do. Wake up every morning with a goal and confront the day, good or bad, with confident posture and speech, like a dignified human being with something positive to offer the world should. And everybody does have something positive to offer, even if they don't know what it is yet. I told him to get a haircut, get a gym membership, or work out at home. I told him to think critically about what it is he thinks that his friends don't like about him, that are the cause of them distancing themselves from him, and to either train himself to stop doing those things or find new friends if those things aren't negative. And it doesn't matter what field you're in or how shit your job is. You can strive to be the best at the thing you're doing, and people around you will recognize that and remember you. Maybe you suck at your job, in which case you should probably consider finding something else to do. But even then, you can bring positivity to those around you just by being kind. The consequences of positivity and negativity both ripple throughout reality and time, and every person needs to decide which they're going to emit. Anyway, when I was feeling abysmal, I managed to remedy my own mood in the process of responding to someone on the verge of suicide, hopefully doing the same for him. It was like two negatives making a positive, which is a profound thing. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but I believe good things can come from a place from which it seems nothing of good can come, just like the Big Bang at the start of everything. I could go on, but I felt like writing something for others I'm sure have been feeling the same or a similar concern and hopelessness, and want to let them know that it's okay for them to be feeling what they're feeling, just like I am. That's often the figurative spade that I use to dig myself out of my mental holes, that no one person can escape the pain of reality no matter how well off they appear. And there's a lot of people in the world feeling the same things all the time, have felt them throughout history, and will for probably a long time. We are goal-oriented creatures that require a sense of purpose and belonging, created to endure pain, respond to it, and grow from it, and we're all in this together. There you go. That's it. Rant over. There's my thing that I wrote. So that I wrote that during a particularly bad day, and I was trying to deal with my own feelings, and I know there's a shitload of people who feel the exact same things, you know. That was what what I was saying about how that's how I often dig myself out of these holes, is that you have to remember that we're all in the same boat, you know, like the things that you feel, that I feel, that are so terrible sometimes, they're not exclusive to you or anybody. They are things felt by everybody. It's part of the human experience, and it's not something you can escape from if you are to exist. Because I think there's a degree of suffering that is inherent to being on this earth, and you just have to ride it out, and more importantly, grow from it, you know, because it's through pain that inspires growth, right? And I think it's damaging to encourage people constantly that they're fine the way they are, you know, because it leaves no room for improvement. And I don't think that's what we're here to do. We're not here to be self-satisfied. We're here to improve ourselves, to grow as people, you know, to enrich ourselves. And I think that's kind of one of the cruxes of what so many people are divided on. I think there's a big movement of people right now who are trying to eliminate all bad feelings from life, you know. But I don't think that's possible, because that's not what life's about, and it's not the way reality manifests itself, you know. In other words, it's ideology. It's ideological to think. I think it's naive to think that life could be such a way that there's nothing. You can't avoid bad feelings, you know. That's why I like that movie Inside Out so much. You know, you guys saw that movie, the Pixar movie, right? Where like every person has memories, right? And for the first half of the movie, you're under the impression that good memories are good and sad memories are bad. But you learn later on that the real bad thing is not feeling anything at all. You know? And happy and sad memories are both two sides of the same coin, which you can't get rid of the coin. The coin is there no matter what. You know, the figurative coin I'm talking about here, it's got two sides to it, happiness and sadness. There's bliss and there's pain on the, you know, on either side. And one can't exist without the other because one defines the other, you know? That's the whole yin and yang thing, right? And this is the kind of shit that it's at the core of season 8, honestly. Arby and the Chief. This, I mean, the imagery is already in there. The yin and yang thing, and the presence of good and evil throughout history, throughout life, and that one will never go away because one defines the boundaries of the other.